the cost of the permit $30, make the ticket 50?
I don't know what
But
the,
we want compliance. We don't want their money.
Right, we're guiding them down the correct
Or we can just
path.
tell them and they'll get the permit, and if they don't, they'll get another ticket, and then it was 60,
right.
I think.
But there's no way to tell. Like, if someone comes to my door,
Yeah.
I don't see the badge hanging on them, I'll ask them if they have it. And several times I've been told, oh, I'm working with the HOA, which I sit on my HOA board as well, and I'm like, no, you're not. And then I explain to them, no, you have to have this, and you're not working with the HOA, because I'm on the HOA board, and by the way, I'm on the village board, so I'm telling you, you need to go get your permit. I'm not trying to bust their chops on my front door, I'm trying to educate them. And I do tell them, I'm like, you need to go get the permit. If you keep going down the street, you will get the police called on you, and you will get a ticket. So you need to go over there and get your registration, your certificate.
We're not giving out badges, are we?
But what I'm getting, excuse me, Denny, what I'm getting at is, chief or anyone over in the police department or anyone over here in administration doesn't know I've had that conversation with them. They take their chances. They can go 3 streets over and just start all over again. So nobody knows if it's their first, their second time, third time they're hearing that. We have no way to enforce that either.
Sure, you can if you call the non-emergency number.
Well, yeah, that's true.
We don't have badges though, right, Jared? I mean, these people don't get a badge when they,
Yeah,
It
They
hangs
do.
around their neck.
yes,
Yeah,
all right. A second, I don't know if it's called a pillar or not. What about our guys that throw the rocks? Is that called a solicitation?
That's littering.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's,
I
Littering
actually
and-
caught him. I was dropping.
That out now.
I was dropping my daughter off at daycare, and he drove by throwing his stuff out. And so I drove down the street, and Fritz was down the street. And so I told Fritz about it. He pulled him over, and I've only seen it once since then. So Officer Fritz must have gotten through to him. I did what I was supposed to do and let the police know. Put that in the paper.
All right, any other questions on the ordinance?
Real quick, so this is a type 2 offense, it says in the ordinance. So that's a $25 fine. So if we wanted to increase it to a $50, we'd have to make it a type 1?
you would change the type category. And I did want to just back up to the application. While it does include a lot more information and request it, as far as processing goes, our intention was not to give anyone a bigger headache in trying to process it. So most of the information requested is more administrative or to be able to enforce more, such as what hours they're expected to function. It's not if they're outside those hours that, they're in violation per se, but at least that gives the police department a heads up, okay, around this time, we might have an influx of people to be aware of. So it's more information that would help prevent any potential problems or to make sure that there's enough staff on hand to handle things rather than extra hoops for somebody to jump through and having to obtain the permit or extra hoops for staff to have to do in processing the permit. It's a lot of informational, background information in case there is a problem later that we have that right on that piece of paper.
So generally, I like to assume that people want to follow this, but sometimes I'm wrong. Chief, if somebody was caught and ticketed for not registering as a solicitor, and then we caught them again, like the same day or the next day or a month later, do we issue them the same $25 ticket, or do you guys have the authority to elevate that?
We have to work under the same ordinance, which if we have an elevator or a sliding scale fee system, or fine system, then we can do that. Right now, it's the same, no matter what. Each time we write, it's the same amount.
So would that be legal for us to, the second one be a type 2, or?
I could certainly look at how we could escalate the fines if that was
I mean, I know
something.
you were going there, so.
We do that with snow.
Right,
Right.
correct. We do it with snow.
Because what I don't want to penalize somebody that just didn't know, but if somebody did know and they're trying to skirt the system.
Yeah, I
then
think
that's our
technically you
problem.
could do per violation per day though, too, so every house the person's going to, I mean, if you wanted to
Yeah.
break it down that way, you could do 25, 25, 25, and not that that would necessarily be upheld in court,
Right.
but that's
Then
how
we
the
would
ordinance
need
is
to
usually
know.
written, exactly.
Yeah, that'd be tough. So,
I'm sure the police department has
yeah, right,
other things on the plate to
exactly.
do.
That's what I was just thinking, actually. I'm
Following them
trying
down
not to
the street.
overburden our PD with this, because I know there's other things going on, so.
Yes.
All right.
So what is the next, so this is a type 2? So what's the fine for the next type?
Not,
$50.
is it
I've got
50?
it right here, yeah, type 1 is $50. So type 2 is 25 if not paid in 7 days, it goes to 50. And a type 1 is 50, if not paid in 7 days, it goes to 75.
And I almost feel like maybe we should be at a type 1.
That's what I'm
Because
thinking,
the fine is actually lower than the application.
Well, that was,
Currently.
that was the whole point I brought up the last time we discussed it. I said, it's opposite. I don't want to reduce the application fee or the registration fee, but it seems kind of odd that the ticket is less than registering with the village. So I was in favor of raising that, and
Right,
I'm
but
really
we
not sure
can't-
what happened with that
I don't-
discussion.
We couldn't make it 30.
No,
For the
but we
ticket.
could make it 50. We could make it the type
yeah.
1.
But if somebody just doesn't know,
And that's okay, it's at officer discretion. But if an officer runs into the same person
yeah.
2 or 3 times, okay, you're getting you haven't learned, we've
Or the same
explained it.
company, because then the
Correct,
company
yeah.
should be aware, yeah.
And I like the idea of, okay, weigh your options. You've got a $30 permit fee, or you've got a $50 ticket, the first offense,
Per incident.
per incident, right? And let's guide them down that road.
Right, plus they're gonna have the 30, so they get the $50 ticket, they're still gonna have to pay the 30,
Yeah.
Right.
to, to get the permit.
I'm in favor of making it the type 1, because otherwise it seems backwards, like Teresa
Right.
said. It's,
I agree.
Cool.
Can we do that, Laura? Okay.
Not hearing anybody opposed to that. Okay.
Me good?
Yep. All right, any other comments on this?
Thank you.
Thanks. This will be on for a future meeting for
oh,
approval?
I just wanted to touch on it because I did receive a text from somebody regarding the hours, because we've talked about the hours, so I just want to make it part of the record that we looked at the hours and we really can't limit due to freedom of speech.
Correct. I mean, every community does it a little differently. I would say that the villages right now are probably the best compromise as far as what courts have upheld and what's reasonable, what would be determined to be reasonable.
Okay, thank you. I just wanted to,
Then the individual homeowner can put the hours.
Correct.
So they can limit it if they want.
All right. Thanks. All right, move on to item E for separate action. We have Resolution 2019-007. This is relating to elected officials' participation in IMRF. You want to give a summary?
Sure. In order for elected officials to participate in IMRF, the board has to pass a resolution every 2 years recertifying it. We have done this in the past. Currently, we have nobody participating in IMRF, so you wouldn't have to pass this resolution, but I wanted to bring it to you to give you that option.
Okay. And previously, we had members that
Correct.
did
In the past, we
participate.
have had. That's why we brought it in the past.
Okay. Thoughts from the board? If we do not pass this, we opt out forever?
Then I'd have to look at. I'm not
Okay.
sure if you could go back afterwards. I can find out.
I would pass it just to make sure
Yeah,
if
just-
someone, you don't know what the future holds, and
yeah, and no one's participating now, but, we might have a board member at some point that is a member of IMRF.
Well, you can be a member of IMRF and still serve as an elected official and receive your full pay. This would be let's say if you wanted to participate in IMRF, the village would then be required to pay 10% of your salary into IMRF so that you can get a pension for serving as an elected official.
Yeah. In that light, I'd say pull it, because I'm against elected officials getting pensions.
right, I would pull that too then.
You
Yeah.
guys flipped really easily on that. I like that.
No, because I wasn't thinking of it in that light.
You talk about
I
spending
just,
money.
I don't think elected officials should be receiving pensions.
This is
Period.
nobody's salary. and
Yes.
I don't know that we need to, we continued that before because we had 2 individuals that were part of that. But that, I think, time in our state has passed, in my opinion. And I don't know that we want, I was talking with Jeff, I don't want some board member in the future to come into Village Hall just to confirm that 600 hours per year. So come in 11 hours a week, just so they can get their hit that threshold for pension or cheat the system. So frankly, I think our money is better spent on other things than somebody's pension for being an elected official.
Now that it's been explained to me that way, I agree.
Yeah, now while the state allows clerk, trustee, elected officials to participate in MRF, can the village pass a resolution stating that the village of Montgomery does not support that? It's not a benefit to our elected officials? Are we able to conflict with that?
Can you pass the resolution?
Yeah, can the village decide as a whole, as a board moving forward, maybe not in perpetuity, but whatever the time frame is, that we will not make that an.
Like a statement against what the
Correct.
statement would be, more or less,
Correct.
is what.
That IMRF is not a part of being an elected official in this community.
Yeah, I mean, the village can pass a resolution giving its opinion on any topic that it would like. You know, rather, you can't bind future boards, obviously, but if you
Sure, I
want
guess
to
that's the thing.
put your opinion, you know, and memorialize it, that's certainly something that you could do.
I can clarify that.
Yeah, so we can clarify that, and I could be totally wrong on this, but I thought that the state passed a law a few years ago that eliminated it with the understanding that you needed to pass this resolution. So everybody else, or everybody opted out unless you passed this, but I could be wrong. So the hope is that that's the way the law is written, and once we don't pass this, we're done. But they'll look into that and they'll report back to us on it. But it sounds like, and I don't want to put words in anybody's mouth, that we're not going to take action on this tonight?
Yeah.
Does that sound appropriate?
Yes.
So we'll table this to a future meeting. Actually,
Well, I'll get the
can we
information.
fail it? Can we
Yeah.
vote on it tonight, and then they'll
Yeah.
report back?
Yeah.
Because either way, for the next 2 years, it sounds like we're
Mhm.
supportive of pulling out on this.
I mean, we have until into July to recertify, so if you fail it tonight, I can tell you if it's then permanent. If
Yeah.
you've changed your mind, you'd have a chance to.
Yeah,
If you want
let's
to
do
revisit
that.
it, you could.
So if you could make the motion in favor, just,
So moved.
Second?
so this is to approve Resolution 2019-007. Any discussion? Call the roll.
Trustee Youngerman.
No.
Trustee Marisak.
No.
Trustee Guyer.
No.
Trustee Spurling.
No.
Trustee Lee.
No.
And Trustee Betzinger.
No.
That was a rousing failure, by the way. We really haven't had very many of those. That was nice. All right, thank you. Moving on, we have items for discussion. We don't have anything new or unfinished to come before the board. You look like you had something. Okay. Anything?
Sunday in the Park coming up, June 23rd.
Ice cream tomorrow.
Ice cream tomorrow at the, no, not tomorrow, Wednesday, the 12th.
Today's Monday?
Still.
It's still Monday, Steve. Anybody up there in the press box have a calendar for trustee Youngerman? So ice cream Wednesday down here for concert in the park with the Park District, and then Sunday in the park on June 23rd behind Lakewood Creek School to see Cap and Funk and the Groove Train,
Nice.
and some ice cream and some Grumpy Gauchos and Taco Grill will be there.
Awesome. Thank you. Anything else?
2
Go
items,
ahead.
please. Senior Planner Chipman, if the staff can do a sweep of signs this week, I'd appreciate it. I'm starting to see more and more storm repair signs out in the right-of-way, particularly over in Seasons Ridge. And Chief, can we do a sweep for the tractor trailers parked in the various lots for retail? I saw there's a trailer dropped over on Douglas Road. Of course, it's right up near Douglas Road, so, thank you.
I have one, if I may. To touch on Teresa's topic as well, code enforcement, as far as the lawns and stuff, they're getting out of hand. Certain lawns are getting out of hand. There are a couple in my development that are ready.
And
I mowed mine this weekend, so
Okay.
we're fine.
No.
It was not long. All right, anything else?
yeah, concert in the
Jermaine?
park is Wednesday, Wild Daisies, and I'm sure our Goosebusters going to be working tomorrow and Wednesday morning, right? Okay.
Thank you.
Keep the little geese out of there.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Thanks. Future meetings, we have the next village board meeting will be Monday, June 24th at 7 PM in this room. And with that, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn to executive session to discuss collective negotiating matters and employment of an employee.
So moved.
Second.
Trustee Youngerman. Trustee Marisak.
Yes.
Trustee Guyer. Trustee Spurling.
Yes.
Trustee Lee.
Yes.
And Trustee Betzinger.
All right, we're adjourned. Thank you.